If you are looking for a consistently profitable strategy for trading Volatility 75 index, then you want to pay a close attention to this video. It's 𝗖𝗵𝗁 here again, and I'm so excited to bring you another tutorial video on my trading strategies. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I trade Volatility 75 index with sniper entry on the 5-minute time frame, and I'm going to show you how I use this strategy to get the trade signal I actually shared on my free community on Telegram, and we actually made over 1,300 pips on that particular trade setup. I'm going to show you how you can implement the strategy and actually make a whole lot of money trading Volatility 75 index. You can actually see that on our Telegram platform yesterday. We actually had this trade setup called, right? I called the trade setup yesterday, 14th of September, and we had that, and the trade setup was on over 400 pips down and break even and so on. It went forth until the take profits, everything got smashed. You can see the setup, and also we can see the reaction of those who took the trade setup. We can see their reaction on Instagram here. You can see somebody actually took this trade setup and made over $6,500, right, with a lot size 0.2 and 0.5 respectively. We had a lot of guys rocking into this trade setup, and you guys can see before and after, and when we had the trade setup at this point here, and thereafter we had trade rocking all the way downwards, and we're making a whole lot of profit trading this particular instrument. So that is what I want to show you on this video, and if you pay close attention to every detail, you are definitely going to improve at your trading game. Before we get started, if you would like to learn how to trade Volatility 75 index and also Forex, you want to learn my top strategies for trading this instrument, then you want to subscribe to this channel now and turn the notification bells on. And also you want to check the description of this video for links to join my Telegram community, absolutely free of charge. With all that said, let's get started with this tutorial. Now, before you start trading any instruments, you definitely want to have clarity of where the market is going to. And for you to actually actualize that, you definitely need to understand the concept of top-down analysis. And that is the first thing that I actually do whenever I want to trade the market. You would definitely want to look at the chart on the daily time frame, perhaps, so that you will have a clue on where price is going to on the daily time frame. Now, yesterday when we took this trade setup, I actually saw the price was going downwards, and definitely any pump to the top side which is lower than the previous high, you can see these are the previous highs of the previous days. Any retracement which is lower than that will definitely be a retracement that is going to take price downwards to continue in that trend. And I understood that, and going over to the 30 minutes time frame, I could see clearly that price was coming out of a zone, right? It broke out of a particular trend here. Look at this. Price broke out of a trend line connecting these highs together. It broke out of it and came up to this top side, and it came to a reaction zone, right? It came to a point where, okay, it got paused and started sloping to the downside. If you go further to look at this chart on the 5 minutes time frame, you're going to see exactly what happened around this place where we took the entry. Let's dive in. On the 5 minutes time frame, look at this, guys. I actually saw that price was creating higher highs, right? The comparison between this high and this high here is actually higher high. This is a higher high, which is higher than this, which is a structure for what? An uptrend. And we understand that if you really want to learn how to trade and make money from trading, you need to understand market structure very well. We have several types of market structure. I've explained this in details in one of my YouTube videos, so you can check the card on this video right now. So you watch the video after this, so you understand market structures and also more details about how to trade these styles. All right, now if you look at that, you can see that, and if you come further into the MACD indicator, you're going to see that the market was giving us lower highs. Comparison between this high and this, we can see that we had lower highs, but on the main chart we had what? Higher highs. So that was the first confirmation. I saw that and I was like, okay, this is exactly what I need. I can see that the sellers are beginning to have more momentum than the buyers, right? Even though we're having higher highs, it means that there's about to be a fall in the market. So what is the settings for the MACD? I use the preset settings, which is the 12.26.9 on the MACD, right? And that's what I have here. So I went further into the chart and I implemented one of my strategies called the breakout strategy. I've actually explained this strategy in details in one of my videos here on YouTube. So you want to check the cards, right? I attached the link on this video. You want to check the cards so that you have access to watch the video after this particular one. So I looked at to this market and I simply drew a trend line connecting these lows. You want to connect this low to the low above there. So we had these lows connected and I could see there was a 5-minute breakout, right? The 5-minute time frame breakout, giving a solid candle which came out of that particular trend. It broke out of the trend line and we can see that this candle broke out and the next candle was outside of it. It came down to this point and started retracing to the top side. So if you look at that market, you see that one thing was happening. Price had broken out and it needed to do a retest of the trend line that it broke out of. Now, if you go into the 1-minute time frame, you're going to see in details exactly what was happening at that place. Now, take a look at the charts on this 1-minute time frame where we have the zone where the reaction took place entirely. So price actually broke out of that zone, right? Let me just delete this once. Price broke out and it came back to retest. It came to a particular point, and as a trader, you definitely want to be dynamic with the chart. Wherever price is going to, you follow and you keep watching the chart and keep seeing, because if you can see it, you can have it. That is how I actually trade, and that's what our tradition is here in Freedom Trade House. If you can see it, you can have it. If you definitely can see what I'm putting up on the chart, put on the comments. If you can see it, you can have it. Let's have it rolling, guys. If you can see it, you can have it. All right, so I could see the price established a new low, and all I did was to connect the trend line there and duplicate that trend line to the top side and connect the highs. So we saw the price got to that low and bounced to the top side. We got our entry around here because it's around the zone where price broke out. And the next thing is that price it broke out of this new trend line, touched the former trend line, the one connecting from the bottom to the top side, and that was clarity, right? So that, okay, this is a retest on the trend line and price is definitely going to be looking for how to continue in the trend to the downside. So I was confident. Now, when you're taking a trade setup, it is one thing to find an entry. It is another thing to actually know exactly where to place your stop loss. So on this trade setup that I shared on the Freedom Trade House community on Telegram, you can check the description of this video to have a link to join the Telegram channel free of charge, right? On this trade setup that I actually shared, I actually had my stop loss above here. Someone has been asking, why did you have your stop loss above here? Why didn't you just put your stop loss close by and everything? If I had my stop loss inside the zone, it would definitely get hit and we'll get out of the trade before price continue going downward. So I just had to apply a simple rule of trading, which is that if price wants to go on a downtrend, right? If price wants to go downwards, if you want to create a downtrend, it's never going to create a higher high. So I understood that concept and I'm like, okay, if price wants to continue going down, it's not going to break this previous high. It's not going to go above it. And I understood that, and that's why I indicated that our stop loss is going to be here. So now that I saw price coming up, even though it broke out of here, I had one logic in mind. I knew that since on the MACD indicator, even on the 1-minute time frame, we were also seeing divergence, that is price sloping to the downside or with lower highs, but on the main chart we have price giving us higher highs, right? Since we had this happening on the chart, I understood that there's one thing certain, is either price is trying to come up here to create a double top with this previous high here, or it is just going to give us slightly a lower high, which is the retest of this trend line from the bottom to the top side. So I knew this is one of these two things were definitely going to happen, and I was confident and I held up my stop loss here. And I had a trade setup. As soon as we saw the price coming down, then I sent the signal to the group and we actually took that trade setup, and you guys can see that it is this same trade setup that gave us a first take profit of about 600 pips and a final take profit of 1,300 pips. And the trade setup actually continued and it gave up to 2,000 pips. We had about 2,300 pips and price got to that zone and started contracting around that zone, right? It got to the maximum 2,300 pips and we had contraction happening inside that zone. It was just ranging here and finally broke out to the top side here. So this is a simple strategy that you can actually use for trading. I call it the breakout strategy, also the implementation of the MACD indicator. If you practice this over and over and over again, definitely you're going to see how this really works, and also you're going to see how to make money using this particular strategy. I actually have videos that explain this in detail, so you just want to check the card of this video or the playlist that comes after this video so that you can watch and understand how this thing works really well. So if you find this piece of information very helpful, then you want to give this video a thumbs up and then subscribe for more. Thank you for watching. My name is 𝗖𝗵 HIH and I'm always here to help.